Hey guys, it's Toxic Moon. Today I'm bringing you a visual novel. Since you guys reacted so well to the dating sim type video that I put up a while ago, I figured, these are fun, so I'd go ahead and do another one. If you didn't know, the continuance to that is actually on Kadistic's channel. So if you want, I can leave a link to that in the description. But I figured I'd go ahead and do some of these on my own channel because I thought that they were fun, and this is a free little game on Steam. And I figured it'd be something fun to do in between all the other stuff that I'm doing. Also, update with Stranded Deep. It's not wanting to comply with my computer right now, so I'm gonna have to put that one on hold and do another Let's Play and upside of that until I can get things figured out and working correctly. But it will come back, I promise you guys. And let's get this started. Venti, 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 venti. The chants of my fans echo through the door in front of me. One of my two bodyguards wrapped his hand around the doorknob. Please prepare yourself, Miss Vinti. Once I open this door, we'll head straight for our limo. The guard had no reason to fret. I had long since grown used to these crowds. Still, I nodded to put him at ease. After taking a deep breath, he pushed the door open. A crowd of hundreds raised their cameras as soon as I stepped out. My guards waved their arms to shoo them away. This red carpet was for me to walk on, after all. I blew a kiss for these starstruck peasants. Miss Vinti, please let us hurry, my bodyguard said. Too bad for him, I strutted along like a model on a catwalk. A group of reporters managed to worm through the crowd. They now tiptoed over my guards in hopes of scoring an exclusive. Vinti, how does it feel to have won another Calligrapher of the Year award? A reporter asked me. Before I could answer, another dozen people shouted over each other, hoping for my attention. Vinti, may I get a photo with you? Can you sign some autographs for my kids? And 2 for me, of course? I can't believe I'm standing this close to Vinti. My fans stomped their dirty shoes all over the red carpet. Finally, my bodyguards pulled out their pepper sprays to keep these fans in check. A young male reached out in my direction, despite having a spray aimed at his face. Rather admirable for a peasant. I extended a hand for this male fan to kiss. Unfortunately for him, he fainted at the sight of my perfectly polished nails. I reached my limousine at last. My bodyguard opened the door for me as I climbed in. My trailing fans snapped as many photos as they could. Miss Vinti! Miss Vinti! The crowd chanted as my car window pulled up. How odd, they never referred to me as Miss. Oh, my graceful presence must have been too much for their sanity. These poor things. Miss Vinti! Miss Vinti! Huh? Oh, well, I had fun while it lasted. At least I got to ride in a limousine for a good 30 seconds. In real life, my only registered vehicle was, well, my 10-year-old bicycle. My apartment had no space for a car anyway. Actually, the single room with cracked walls might be an insult to the word apartment. Pull up those curtains for a spectacular $1 view featuring a sewage pipe and a wall tainted with yellow. Just open the window if you wish to smell the sewage as well. A breathtaking experience. By the way, sorry, I needed to take back the 1-room thing. This place actually has 2 rooms. Thank you very much. The second room happened to be a toilet. That still counted, right? The toilet clogged 3 times a month, so careful when using it. Sorry guys, I'm still sick. Miss Venti! Miss Venti! A woman's voice echoed from outside. She was no fan, but rather my landlady. I glanced over my clock. 6 a.m. Waiting another hour or two would have been nice. She probably just wanted to tell me about another rent raise. Nothing good can ever come out of that woman's mouth. I'd be better off staying in bed. Ooh, I get to choose. Why don't we go ahead and humor the old lady and rise and shine. Coming! As I changed into something more appropriate, the landlady still kept knocking. I said I was coming, did I not? Maybe I should walk out naked if that was what she dug. If this were a game, we might get a sale boost too. Good morning, Miss Vinti, the landlady said. I must ask, what's with that hair? It looks like you just woke up. That's because I did. It's a waste for young ladies like you to sleep away your youth. The landlady shook her head. She had no right to preach to me like this. I wanted to tell her, but decided against it, as doing so would give her an excuse to lecture me further. With her size, if I enraged her, she would squash me into venti flavored pancake. Miss Venti, your rent was due 3 days ago. Oh, well, at least there's no rent increase. Sorry, madam. My next paycheck will come after tonight's shift, so I'll pay you first thing tomorrow morning. The landlady grunted. All right. Just know that if this keeps up, you'll have to find somewhere else to live. She spun around to leave. Once she disappeared behind the corridor, I kicked my door shut, causing a piece of my cracked wall to fall off. I tried shoving the piece back into place. My effort resulted in more wall fragments flaking off. Great. The landlady would make me pay for that next month. Once I became an accomplished calligrapher, she would beg for a chance to shine my shoe. Hey, I sounded a bit ranty before, but that was never my intention. A lot of famous people had humble beginnings. I would follow in their footsteps, but first, I needed to put it in the work. And so I returned to the busiest street in my area, with my calligraphy spread before me. I sat on the concrete and rested my back against the fence. Car horns blared behind me, mixed with people shouting things about each other's mothers. Wow. Okay. These cars kept expelling fumes that made me choke. Just one of the many things I dealt with in the name of art. Pedestrians took up almost every inch of space on the street ahead. Surely this would be the day someone spotted my talent. As always, no one afforded me anything more than a passing glance, and my will soon dwindled. Let me be honest, I never expected to be showered with praise by every head who passed here. What was that old saying? 10% of people you reach out to will buy your work? I could live with that. Even just 1%. Please, anything but 0. I wanted to scream at these people. They had no idea how much sweat I poured into these calligraphies. Persevere, rant. Let's persevere. Gotta keep up that good work ethic. Can't speak today. I decided to keep these displeasures to myself. People often said patience would be rewarded. I wondered if my patience would ever become worthwhile. Just as I thought this, a man paused to look at my calligraphies. He had a bucket of fried chicken in his hand. That smell made my mouth water. As the man eyed my works one by one, I felt my cheeks heating up from anticipation. At last, someone who spared more than a moment with my works. This must be my reward. The timing could hardly be more perfect. I summoned the courage to speak with the man, but he spoke first. You're charging for these? I managed a tiny nod. The man snorted. I would never hang these on my wall, even if you gave them to me for free. Seriously, this is the most shameless display I've ever seen. Trolls online were one thing. Confronting one in real life was a rarity. Judging from the man's scrawny arms, I bet I could overpower him with ease. Then he would know just how big of a blunder he had made. Let's attack him. just to see. I cringed up one of my calligraphies and rose. The man must have sensed my violent intent as he backed a step and shielded his face with the bucket of chicken. I threw a punch at him before he could flee into the crowd. My fist connected with the side of his head. That marked the first time I'd ever hit someone. My knuckles hurt from the blow, but seeing the guy's chopped jaw made it worthwhile. He probably grew up this way because nobody ever dared to punish him. A couple of pedestrians popped in and held me back from attacking the man further. I squirmed against their grips, but gave up as my anger waned. Once my breathing returned to normal, the civilians loosened their hold and I brushed myself free. I'll remember this. The man fled for the train station, eating another piece of chicken as he did so. I hoped he choked on it. Next morning, someone knocked on my door. I checked the clock. 5 a.m. When would the landlady cut me a break? Miss Venti? It's the police. Oh, shit. I cupped a hand over my mouth as if keeping quiet to make the police go away. They must be here to ask about my assault yesterday. That guy I punched was nothing but talk. I should have let him ramble. God knew what would befall me now. I prayed I would at least be spared a jail sentence. Tears streaked down my cheeks as I buried myself under the blanket. This had to be nothing more than a bad dream. Bad end? Oh, come on! Alright, let's try this again. Let's restrain this time. Folks always said to ignore trolls. I clenched my teeth and stayed put. After chuckling in my face, the man strutted off. Determined to prove him wrong, I continued to sit and wait for potential customers. Another 1,000 people walked by without sparing me a look. Lingering here any longer would be a waste of time. As I packed my things, I insisted I was leaving because my part-time job started in an hour. Deep inside, I knew that man's word had rocked my confidence. Giving up on calligraphy would mean I had wasted all this time over nothing. Yet, if I lacked the gift, persevering might make things worse. Tears welled up in my eyes, and I clenched my fist to hold them back. Speaking of tears, I heard a kid crying within the crowd. I looked like he was a lost child on our hands. Looked like we had a lost child on our hands. Some pedestrians shot him glances, but none of them offered more than that. These really were horrible people. To cheer myself up, I told myself I would never want my calligraphies to be owned by people like that. I should help the kid, but that would mean being late for my job. Let's help him. If I judged others for abandoning a child and then did the same myself, I would be a jerk. And a hypocrite. With a sigh, I walked up to the boy. Hey there. There, it's okay. Did you lose Mummy? And the boy was sobbing too hard to answer. I leaned in to stroke his back with one hand and his head with the other. Let me know if you lost Mummy, okay? I'll help you find her, so there's no need to be scared. The kid managed a nod at last. I whispered good boy into his ear. What's your mommy's name? Hungry. Her name is Hungry? The boy's tummy growled and I realized what he meant. Oh, well, how about I buy you a sandwich? The kid shook his head. I want ice cream. Hey kid, ice cream is more of a dessert actually. I want ice cream. So ice cream it was. One for him and none for me. The money came out of my pocket, of course. My poor wallet. At least this kid could have eaten the whole thing rather than let half of it melt on his shirt. Jessie? Jessie, the boy said. That's Mummy's name. Jessie! Jessie! I called as I strode through the street. Now people stared at me more than ever. Enough to make me blush, in fact. Maybe I could try shouting Jessie at random the next time I sold my calligraphies. The sky turned orange as time ticked by. Yes, I knew my shift started half an hour ago. Stop reminding me. A woman squeezed through the crowd and scurried toward us as she ran past a red light, nearly getting hit by a truck in the process. "Mommy!" The boy shook free of my hold and rushed to his mother's embrace. After muttering apologies to her son, the woman gazed toward me. "Oh, thank you so much for your help. You're wonderful, just wonderful." The torrent of praises curled my lips into a stupid grin. Anyone would have done the same thing. "Please, if there's anything I can do in return, just let me know," the mother said. "Actually, there is something I need help with." The mother nodded. "Anything in my power, miss." "Which way back to the train station?" The sky had gone dark by the time I arrived at work. I opened the restaurant door gingerly to avoid making any noise. Stealth mode switched on. They called me Ninja Venti for a reason. "Miss Vinti!" The voice of my boss came nearly made me jump into the ceiling fan. Sorry I'm late. I wanted to explain, but my boss glared at me, and my tongue slurred out of a bunch of syllables. My explanation was in there somewhere, probably, maybe. I received an earful from my boss, but at least I got to keep my job. Several colleagues shot me frowns for not being here during such a busy period. In the end, I took all the blame without complaint. Well, at one point, I locked myself inside the toilet and screamed into the bowl. I also might or might not have fantasized about dunking my workmate's head into the toilet. That was for me alone to know, though. At least I earned the paycheck needed to keep my landlady quiet for another month. As for the month after that, we would see when the time came. All I wanted was to pursue my art, but reality kept pursuing me toward finding a second job. On my way home, I spotted a banner for an upcoming visual novel named Princess Aria. The game had long been hyped on every forum I knew. Amazing art, along with the cast of famous voice actors. The writer and composer were big names too. For Princess Aria to have this ad this big, there must be a lot of money put behind the project. The way this banner hung high gave me a sense it was an extra important. Bright lights shone on the princess's face to impress potential buyers. Yes, that was what I really needed. If I had a banner like that, no doubt people would line up to buy my calligraphy. I could already imagine how folks would react as I walked along the streets. "Hey, I think that was Vinti." "Wow, no way! You mean the famous calligrapher I see on all those banners?" "Yeah, she must be really good. Maybe we should ask for her autograph." My agent would step in to speak on my behalf. "Please, line up in an orderly fashion, everyone." "How much for an autograph? Shut up and take my money." My agent nodded in response. "Autographs are available for $100. Thanks." "That would be $100. Thanks." The game shop's owner said Princess Aria cost twice what I had predicted. If I bought the game, I would have too little left for rent. I opened my wallet, hoping I might have more cash on hand than I realized. Turned out I had less, actually. I hung my head, and the storekeeper sighed. His arched brows pressured me into buying a game. I did ride 3 trains to get here, so might as well pick up something. I told the shopkeeper how much money I had, and he shook his head. The store owner pulled out a different game from under his table. He brushed away the dust on it so I could see the cover. The title read Sunflower War, some visual novel about a battlefield. Copyright 1997, the bottom read. No wonder it was so cheap. Art by Invert Mouse, whoever the heck that was. The front cover would fit perfectly in the kindergarten classroom. Yeah, this game was actually made by Invert Mouse, so that's what it said when I loaded up the game. So I flipped the case to see what was highlighted on the back. The game supported up to 640 times 480 resolution. Truly a pinnacle of technology. The shopkeeper grimaced. He must have sensed I wanted to say no. His stare made my palms stain with sweat. I ended up buying the game. Dealing with folks like that had always been a weakness of mine. Remind me to never visit this store again. Let's see. Running 20 minutes in. I say we'll go ahead and save it. And I will end this one here, but I will continue it on soon because this is funny. I really like this. Hopefully there's at least one more episode left in this. So I'll go ahead and end it here, guys, and I will be sure to upload another one as soon as I can. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and like, comment, favorite, subscribe. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and I hope you guys enjoy your stay. And that is all for me, so I will see you guys in the next video.